Hey, and welcome back to Girl Chat Sports. We are on episode 25. I'm Melissa, your host, and with me, of course,
is Stephanie.
Hey, Steph. So, someone had quite a fun, extravagant weekend.
Yeah, I got an opportunity to go to Atlanta this weekend. My girlfriend Sonia is a huge Braves fan, so she wanted to go to the last home games or games period in Turner Field. So we went there for the weekend, and she actually went to all three games on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I went Friday evening.
Die-hard fan.
Yes,
huh?
yes. So she had to see them out. So yeah, it was fun. Last Friday night fireworks in the stadium. It was really neat to watch the game. They played Detroit and lost the first game, but on Saturday night they did win. There was just one run in the whole entire game. So
oh my god.
Yeah, and then Sunday night they closed out Turner Stadium. They did some really fun festivities at the end of the game. Some of the greats like Chipper Jones, Greg Maddux was there.
Chipper Jones is like the one person I remember from my childhood who I was like in love with. I don't know why. Maybe it was he who had this like smile and like these perfect teeth. But I remember, growing up as a big Mariners fan, I remember the one person from Atlanta that I really loved was Chipper Jones. So I'm excited too that he was there.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. Hank Aaron, Jimmy Carter showed up. Funny thing was I guess they had invited Ted Turner, whose namesake the stadium is, and he didn't show. Rumor has it that he was a little disappointed that they were moving the stadium from downtown, and apparently he's a pretty big downtown Atlanta fan, so he was not in attendance.
So where is the new stadium? Is it already being built, or is it already built or finished?
Yes. So it's going to be in Cobb County, which is a little further away, kind of in a nicer area of town. So they're going to be building malls and hotels and whatnot around it. So it should be pretty nice, but it's also going to be in a bad traffic area. So
isn't all of Atlanta a bad traffic area?
Pretty much,
so I've heard.
Yeah. So that was pretty exciting. And then also I got an opportunity to go to the Falcons and Panthers game.
Wow.
Can you believe I got to see Matt Ryan and Julio
that was
Jones.
A huge game. So let's before we cut to that information, we just wanted to break out to you guys and just let you know that thank you for joining us today. We're excited to hear the rest of Stephanie's trip. We've got a lot of NFL news that we'll get to the rest of. I want Steph to tell us about her time with the Falcons game because that's a huge part of our show today. We've also got some fantasy football injuries. There are some college football details in regards to some stuff like the top 10 weekend. Also, Major League Baseball playoffs are starting up. Wild Card is currently being played as we speak. And for all of you ladies and possibly men, there is the Arms of the NFL that is coming up. And of course, we'll have our special commercial break from the guys at In the Zone Network. Thanks to Palmer Alexander and Arlington Lane once again. So without further ado, we'll get into some football, of course. We'll just start off with your game then. Because it sounds like, I watched the game, and granted, I had like 8 games going on my DirecTV Sunday ticket, but that game, or no, that was the later game, sorry, that was Sunday night game, right? They were night.
No, middle of the afternoon. Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. So it wasn't my morning game. However, that game, not only fantasy-wise because of the points that got racked up for these guys, but tell me about what it was like being there, because your seats were awesome too.
Yeah.
If no one is watching or no one knows yet, please make sure you subscribe to our Snapchat and Instagram, because Stephanie you probably missed it by now because Snapchats only last for 24 hours, but she had some great snaps from Atlanta at the game live, as well as from the Braves game too. So it's at GirlChatSports. And so anyway, the game.
Yeah. Boy, it was my very first NFL game that I've ever been to, so it was pretty exciting just to be there. We tailgated ahead of time, which was really fun.
So how's their I know every place you go, tailgates are a little bit different.
Oh, man, you have to check out our Instagram. It was just crazy. The drinks that these people made were insane.
There was like Jell-O shots or something,
yes,
I think I saw?
Yes, all different flavors you could imagine. Yeah, so it was really fun to tailgate before, and then just going into the game, like I've never experienced a stadium like that before. I wore my Cowboys jersey, and I got flack for it the whole entire game. People were like, "Are you confused? Are you at the right place?"
At the right place. You're like, yeah kind of. I would do the same thing. So I don't give you. I wouldn't wear a Cowboys jersey, but for sure would wear my own jersey to a different game. I think I did that before at like a Ravens-Cardinals game. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, and then it was determined that my sister's friends that she knows for a very long time were at the game as well. A woman that she knows is really good friends with Cam Newton's mom and has known her before he was even born. So she had like a really cool box seat. So we all met up at halftime. And so I actually moved down to better seats after halftime. So yeah, it was really cool just to be that close to the field and see it all in action. Just to even see, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones become the first teammates in NFL history to rack up 500 passing yards and 300 receiving yards in the same game.
That is so crazy. Like, it's so funny because, switching to fantasy real quick, there was the person I played against actually had Matt Ryan on the bench. And I have other friends that had Julio Jones on their bench. Like, they were missing, I think Matt Jones had, for my PPR league, had like 80-some points. And Julio had like 35, 40. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And some of these people that, had them on the bench also lost. It's just insane. But they had and I'm watching Julio Jones. He has a great body, too. He's got a good body. It's like, yes. I think I'm a Julio Jones fan.
The crowd was yelling, Julio, Julio.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was really cool to experience that.
That is such a great game to have been at. Well, maybe not for the Panthers.
Yeah, to see that hit helmet to helmet with Cam Newton.
So, and Cam had concussion protocol. He was. I don't think he'll be playing this week. It sounds kind of iffy on the status of that. We wish him the best. However, there is a big talk, and this is one of the big topics right now, is that maybe Julio Jones wouldn't have had so many yards had like Josh Norman still been around for the Panthers. Josh Norman was the cornerback who talked a lot of shit with Odell Beckham Jr. last year for the when he was with the Panthers against the Giants. Josh didn't want to accept any kind of arrangements for contract this year and ended up getting traded over to Washington, who paid him some buku dollars. He's with the Redskins. He's no longer with the Panthers. And it looks like the Panthers probably could have missed him a lot. I mean, most people don't think that if Josh Norman didn't, make or break the defense. But when it comes to covering wide receivers, especially ones like Julio Jones, I think it's quite evident that he is missed. That's also 0-2. The Panthers have lost their last 2 games.
Yeah, it's crazy. Who would have thought?
I mean, you're talking about the Panthers and the Cardinals. These are 2 teams that last year they played in the NFC Championship. But B, these are 2 teams that people thought were going to come back and go back and do it again this year. Both these teams are 1-3.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm really surprised about Denver being where they're at right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And their quarterback, too, their quarterback issues, I guess, have continued. I don't know. Denver, I guess when they were playing the Panthers in the first game of the season, I was like, oh, well, they're going to get kicked. They're going to get killed here.
I assume so, too.
And they lost. They won. They beat the Panthers. But they've continued on. They're undefeated. There's only 3 teams left right now, which is the Patriots, Vikings, and the Broncos. Patriots, I got. Vikings had no idea. You've got Sam Bradford, who came over after 1 game. He's now 3-0 for playing for them. The Broncos don't have Peyton Manning anymore. They really just have a defense, but somehow, are making wins happen.
Even with their 3rd-string quarterback.
Right, and what's his name? Lynch, I think. So, I'm always going to make it, I'm not going to, I keep wanting to say Seaman, but Simeon, I believe it is. So he was out. We got Lynch in, and of course I like the name Lynch, but besides the point. So we'll see how it goes for them this coming week, and I still can't believe it. It just, I don't know. I don't know. But so with the Patriots, though, they're 4-0, or 3-1.
And Brady's back.
Brady is back. I can't believe that. Brady is back. Gronk is still on the cusp. They're not sure as to if he'll be playing for sure. He's still dealing with some hamstring issues, so we would see how that goes. But Brady's back, and I'm sure every Patriots fan out there is just in heaven right now.
I'm sure of it.
Right. What was crazy, though, is that they did get shut out by the Bills. I think the Patriots were doomed to lose at least one of these 4 games without Brady, but to be shut out seemed kind of crazy. I think Belichick was really hit hard by it.
True.
I don't think he's had that happen to him in a while. In other football news, one thing that was crazy to me, I know for me personally, when I'm at a game, it's a little bit harder to catch up on all the rest of the games, and watch the other, news
True.
and sports. So I know for you might have not seen it, but when I was watching the Saints San Diego game, I was watching some of the highlights. And I've been to San Diego to one of their games when the Seahawks play, and I'm always surprised at how many other fans are there that are Seahawks. They don't have much of a home crowd. The Chargers crowd there is pretty dismal. I don't know if it's because of the subpar stadium they have right now, and maybe why they're trying to leave. But the Saints has scored a touchdown, and literally the stadium went nuts. And I was like, wait a minute, no, they're not in New Orleans. No, they're in San Diego. So really the San Diego Chargers have no fans, and if they do, they don't go to the games. Which could be a reason why they may want to try and be moving them back to LA or into LA as well, having that whole shared stadium thing with the Raiders. But
the same thing happened with the Cowboys and Niners game. The Cowboys fans came out to the Niners game.
And let's talk about that game. Did you see some of the highlights of that game and stuff? I mean, that was... I will say this. For most Cowboy fans, they had to have been sweating the first half.
Since I got out late from the football game, I was only able to catch the second half. And when I saw that we were down 14-0, I'm like, what's going on? But, man, we picked it up after the second half.
I mean, I couldn't believe it that Blaine Gabbert, they came out strong. The Niners came out stronger than I've seen them play most of the season, which was very surprising. But then I kind of think I had taken a nap at some point. And when I woke up, I was like, wait, what? They scored? Oh, the Cowboys are winning? So that was kind of interesting. I couldn't believe what I had seen. I guess, I don't know. I want the Niners to do better because they really suck at being, our, rival when they're not much of a rival at all.
True.
But congratulations on the win.
Man.
Again, I don't like the Cowboys, but the Dak and Zeke show, I am all for. Those boys.
Zeke is currently the NFL leading rusher right now.
What?
Yep.
Rookie.
And Prescott's about to pass Tom Brady's NFL record for the most pass attempts without an interception to start a career.
For his rookie season.
Oh
my gosh.
He's coming. He's coming for you, Brady.
Good. Take him down. We don't like Brady, so take him down. Take him down.
Speaking of the Cowboys, Mr. Dez Bryant.
Oh, my
I think he just
goodness.
does what he wants, pretty much.
This guy's like a big baby, I think, too.
They are saying that he missed 20 of 40 meetings during his whole entire tenure with the Cowboys.
And he missed, I think, 7 or 8 just in 2016. So literally your season, the Cowboys season didn't go very far last year. So 2016 was pretty much this since training camp. You've already missed 7 or 8.
Yeah, like I said, he does what he wants. He goes to get MRIs whenever he feels like it.
I guess him and Jerry are just such big buds that Jerry doesn't throw the hammer down and give him a flag for all that. That's just ridiculous. So yeah, well, Dez is out. It looks like for about 3 weeks. Who knows? Maybe a little bit more, maybe less. I think that's great, but who knows? I just hope that. I hope that at some point, I think for fantasy owners, Dez is kind of like, there's a lot of people in fantasy, Dante Moncrief, Sammy Watkins, that all of us have sprung for in the first, second rounds of our fantasy leagues, and they're all sitting out, or they're all out with an injury, or they're on IR now. Sammy Watkins is now on IR, so he's out for at least 8 seasons. When you're on injury reserve, that's IR, you basically can't return for at least 8 weeks. So he's done. Also with some other injuries, J.J. Watt is out for this season. Navarro Bowman, the Niners, huge defensive guy who basically held us down for a while in our offense, but he's out for the season as well with a torn Achilles. There's a couple other ones. I think Chris Johnson now from Arizona, the running back there, he's on injured reserve for growing. So many injuries. It just keeps on going. It never stops, which then affects fantasy because we got to do all these switches and moves. And today is a Wave Your Wire Wednesday, per my podcast I listen to as well. Again, you're welcome to hit me up at melissa@girlchatsports.com for that exclusive information because I won't share it to just anybody, especially if you're in one of my 3 fantasy leagues. However, in my fantasy leagues, I did win 2 games this week, so
Finally.
I'm not completely 0-4 in anything. I'm in the bottom, I think, still in one. here's the deal. There's a little thing called a stat correction in fantasy football. So at some point, the geniuses or the heads of fantasy football that they hover over and decide on the points and all that, they must have seen something. Monday night, I go to bed. I'm up by 3.1 points in my team, and I wake up Tuesday morning, and I'm now losing by 0.90 points, and I lose the game because of a stat correction. I can't find where it's at. I can't look it up, but some genius at Yahoo Sports had me lose my game. So Steve, damn it, congratulations on your false win. I hope you're happy. Another fun thing, one of my friends, Young, he actually went to the Seahawks-Jets game this last Sunday, and it was so funny because I was just sitting in bed because it was a 10 a.m. game. I don't do too well for 10 a.m. games, especially going to the Seahawks bar out here in Vegas called Scooters. You literally have to be there 2 to 3 hours early. So I got up, I laid in bed watching the game, and he FaceTimes me he has front row seats at the Jet Stadium watching the Seahawks, FaceTimes me right when we have a score and a touchdown, which was pretty amazing. I enjoyed it. It was nice. That's technology is great. You can start FaceTiming and you're Snapchatting and you're Instagramming all the games, and I went to the Bad Boys concert this last weekend, and I'm Snapchatting that whole thing. Some of my friends that couldn't go to the concert, they're watching the whole thing with me.
Get to experience it.
Right. We're about to take a little break real quick. I'm going to shoot you another commercial from our guys over there at End the Zone Network and discuss the road trip to the Tennessee Titans game coming up this in a couple weeks here in October. When we come back, we'll discuss a little more fantasy football, a little more football, discuss that college top 10 weekend, as well as my Huskies, Major League Baseball, and arms of the NFL.
Get on board for the NFL Road Trip, presented by In the Zone Show, Take a Trip Travel, and Collective Catering. It's the Indianapolis Colts versus the Tennessee Titans in an AFC South rival game from Nissan Stadium in Nashville. You'll get to check out players like Marcus Mariota, Andrew Luck, Robert Mathis, and DeMarco Murray. This trip includes a round-trip bus ticket, a one-night hotel stay, a private tailgate party with food, surprises, and giveaways, and of course, a ticket to the game. We depart Saturday, October 22nd, and return after the game on Sunday, October 23rd. Seats are filling up, so contact Malatha Witherspoon today to book your seat at 314-369-7025 or taketriptravel@gmail.com. Get on board for the NFL Road Trip presented by In the Zone Show, Take a Trip Travel, and Collective Catering.
All right, and welcome back to Girl Chat Sports. We're just coming back from our commercial break again. Thanks and shout out to the guys at In the Zone Network, In the Zone Show, all of the affiliates in New England, Philly, and St. Louis, all over the globe, and in Seattle as well. Mr. Garrett up there, thank you very much, holding it down for the Seahawks clan. Anyways, getting back to some football. So let's talk about Seattle for a second, my Seahawks. So big thing was Russell Wilson was injured. He had a sprained MCL. Would he be playing? Maybe just letting him rest. He may hurt it more. Listen, Russell Wilson came out and balled. He said, "What injury? Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." Came out, found Jimmy Graham. But however, Jimmy Graham swears he never left. But Jimmy, you were missing an MIA for quite some time. So Jimmy Graham is back. I mean, he scored great points for fantasy owners. He actually, I'm glad that he's back, and I'm hoping that the plan is to stick with giving him passes. He was making some wonderful passes. He scored a touchdown. He was open, getting open. It's hard not to have a target that tall and not hit him. So congrats to the Seahawks. They have a bye week this weekend, so I'm going to be bored on Sunday. I mean, I'll watch some games, of course, because I'm a sportsaholic and a freak, but my team won't be playing. My mom already sent me a text and was like, what am I going to do without any Seahawks? So one day we'll have Mom on, because that's who I get my crazy football or sports my crazy sports love from. So Seahawks won. I'm so happy. We had Jermaine Ifedi, who is our center, back in. He's our rookie that we got this year in the draft. He was back, and it definitely showed. I think it helped a lot having someone there that could at least hold back the defense a bit. Richard Sherman, at first, I was a little upset with him because he basically Brandon Marshall was getting some great catches the first half, and I didn't think that Richard Sherman was actually playing much of a defense. However, he did come back, and he got 2 interceptions against them, and that actually is 9 interceptions total that Jeff Fitzgerald, or that the Jets quarterback Fitzgerald has thrown in the last 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, 9 interceptions. If you're in fantasy football, do not pick up Fitzgerald unless, I'm not sure they're playing this week, depending on who they're playing. However, yeah, he's not doing so well at all. I think that's about it for my NFL news. Oh, but for fantasy, because I have Le'Veon Bell in my one of my teams. He's back. He played for the Steelers this past weekend, and not only did the Steelers come back for a vengeance, because you know how they got their asses kicked the week before,
right?
They came back with, I mean, when I tell you Ben Roethlisberger threw for I think like 60, 70 points, Brown had a bunch of points, Bell had a bunch of runs, I think he scored as well, so great to have the Steelers back. I am a Steeler fan in fantasy league, at least. I don't know if I can necessarily be a real fan of the Steelers, but I do know that a lot of their guys on the team are pretty handsome. I will say that.
True.
Ladies, if you don't watch much football, at least do me this favor. Watch the beginning credits. Like, watch that first, like, 2 or 3, maybe like I'd say 5 minutes, where you got like 2 or 3 possessions from each team, because they're going to show you the whole entire offensive line and defensive line in pictures, their name, what school they went to, and you'll get to see a good close-up of them without their helmets on. So anyways, that was and Jamal Charles is also kind of back, I say, because it's like he's there but not really there, and he hasn't been there, but he could be coming back, and he's also on my bench. He'll be on my bench probably for a couple more weeks until I can figure out if he's actually going to be worth it or not. College football. Here's something that's pretty funny. Well, let's talk about my Huskies for a second. I don't know. I know you probably didn't get a catch. You were busy touring Atlanta, so I know
Indeed.
College football wasn't on your big thing. And but my Huskies played on Friday night game against Stanford. We were ranked 10. We were ranked 10, and Stanford was 7. This was kind of like our big show. Like, if we're going to do well this season, if we're really the hype that we are, we had to be Stanford. Well, we did. And we are now in the top 5 of the college AP poll.
Yeah.
I know, and we have not been there since I think it's 2000 or 2001 when I actually was in college there. So it has been some time, but it was really cool because just via Facebook and Instagram and social media, a lot of they had the 25-year reunion from our national championship in 1991. Some great Husky alumni, and most of those guys that played then, as well as guys that have played since then, all kind of met up at UW this past weekend. So it was cool to see all the pictures of all the old, I won't say old guys, but a lot of the older guys that I had been in school with and ones previous to me. Some of the guys there, those are the guys that I watched when I was a kid that made me want to be a Husky. Like in 8th grade, I knew I was going to be a Husky. There was I didn't have to apply anywhere else. That's just where I was going to go. I was going to be a dog. Anyway, but the funny thing was that the top 10 weekend, so why that occurred is because there was like literally 8 teams in the top 10 that were playing each other. There was 4 games last weekend. The Stanford-Washington game, Wisconsin and Michigan. Wisconsin was 8, Michigan was 4. Michigan won. Louisville and Clemson. Clemson actually won. They were 5, but they are now 3. So there was 6 teams that were playing, which was kind of crazy because it wasn't like it was set up that way. You basically the schedule's already set. So it was cool that it kind of worked out that way, and they made it the top 10 weekend, which was cool. Again, the Huskies are 5. I just want to reiterate that because I don't even know how long it's been since I've been able to say they were in the top 10, let alone the top 5, especially in football. So congrats to the current Huskies and the former Huskies out there. What about some baseball?
Yeah, a lot going on in baseball.
Yeah.
Playoffs are starting. Right now, we're actually missing a game. The San Francisco Giants are playing the Mets, and I think it's around the 8th inning, and it's still no runs.
Oh my gosh! And is this their I think this is their final game, or for
you make it in or you don't.
The NL wild card. Man.
Yeah, well, a lot going on. Retiring. We got Big Papi retiring after the season.
I love it when you call me Big Papi. No.
So they really did it big for him. They made, they got him a custom-made boots and a gold bat, and they've named a street and a bridge.
And everyone out there, Big Papi, a.k.a. is David Ortiz.
Yeah, so they really showed him a great reception at their last game, and, he deserves it.
Good for them. And who else is... Oh, we had another retiree.
Oh, yeah, Vin Scully. 67 years broadcasting for the Dodgers, and he broadcasted his last game.
Can you imagine the technology that he's seen over the years? I mean, 67 years, that's like literally when you basically were shouting out into the field, not so much broadcasting.
Right. Yeah, so he actually traveled to San Francisco to actually end his career the only way he should, which was calling a Dodgers-Giants game.
Wow. Oh, that's so cool. What about your boy Tim Tebow? I heard... So I noticed... I only heard about the one time where he had the home run, but he actually is reporting to the Arizona's Fall League this weekend. He had 3 games, but he had like a decent IRA, which is like it was 2.286. He had 2 RBIs, which is runs batted in, and then he had a home run. I mean, it's not terrible for a guy who just dropped the football, and is now all of a sudden like a baseball player again.
I'm still cheering for Tebow.
Hey, Tebow your way in there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Get you maybe some Mets gear. I think she should do then. That's funny. Oh goodness. And then we got the NBA started. Preseason started.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear about Ben Simmons?
No.
Oh, man. He had to go under surgery on Tuesday to repair an acute Jones fracture in the 5th metatarsal of his right foot.
And Stephanie is now a doctor for here at GirlChatSports. Because I was like, wait, huh? What?
Yeah, well, they're saying it's a pretty tricky injury because it comes with a higher risk of re-injuring. So I think that he needs to sit out for the whole entire season, but we'll see.
Well, and just so you know, Ben Simmons was the first-round draft pick the first-round pick, period, that the 76ers got from the draft this past summer. So it's sad that their best, basically you have to be the shittiest team in the world to get the first-round pick in basketball. And the Sixers have been in. I think they literally won like maybe 16 games last year out of the entire season.
They haven't had much luck with their picks. All of their first-round picks getting injured.
Out for another one. We also got to see Kevin Durant dressed up as a Warrior and joining in the Splash Brothers fun. Like, they have a Splash Brother family tree there now. It's like everybody there can shoot threes. There was a clip from the game, I think, last night. I think within the first 3 minutes, you had Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and I can't remember who the third one was, but they all had shot 3-pointers and just made it in the first couple minutes. Like, I don't even think it's fair that people have to play the Warriors this year.
I'm not feeling it at all.
And then I got to see DWade in his Chicago Bulls uniform, which made me really happy. And of course, Rajon Rondo as well. I'm excited for them both to be in Chicago. I am a Bulls fan since I was a kid, so I'm definitely excited to see that. And then, of course, next weekend, I definitely get to go see Kevin Durant and the Warriors play here against your Lakers. So that will be interesting. I'm gonna dig up I think I'm gonna wear some old Sonics gear for that game.
Good idea.
I think so.
But you can't rep either team.
I sure can. Definitely not the Lakers. And I do have a Golden State shirt, but I think the Seahawks stuff always goes off a little better when I'm at the Warriors games. It's a better kick. Can we talk about Chris Bosh?
Man, so this is sad how it all went down. Apparently, Pat Riley ended his time with the team, citing a physical exam connected to blood clots that prematurely cut short his last 2 seasons. So from what I hear is that Chris Bosh didn't even hear it from Pat Riley. He heard it from the media.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, the media is always in everybody's business, so I don't know.
But he still owed $79 million over the next 3 years, and the money is guaranteed.
So Chris Bosh, if you're listening, if you have any needs to donate money or buy things and use some of that, just let us know here at Girl Chat Sports. We'd be more than happy to have a Chris Bosh segment of our show, if you will. But can you imagine? 76 guaranteed, so you don't really have to do anything anymore. Like, you don't have to come back. You just get the money. Take it.
I think he's sad. I think he still wants to play.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably because he doesn't want to be at home with his wife. I mean, just kidding. So back to baseball real quick. So the other teams that made it to the playoffs, we got the Blue Jays, the Rangers, the Red Sox, Indians, Dodgers, and the Nationals. And then, of course, the game today is with the Giants we're not sure who's going to win that game yet or who they play. I'm not sure of that one either. But baseball season's coming to a wrap. It seems like they're the second longest season behind hockey. So that'll be interesting. And then we've got basketball and football. So we've got some things that'll keep us busy for the fall. I'm excited. I don't know about you. I got a basketball game coming up this weekend or next week. And then I've got the Saints and Seahawks game coming up around Halloween. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, we do still have soccer going on.
What?
For the first time since 1947, the U.S. men's national team is going to be playing Cuba in Cuba.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so it's pretty historic. The game is on October 7th.
That would be a cool game to go to. Well, not that I'd be able to right now, but that would be really, wow, that's super cool. Aww. Well, that seems to be much for much of all we have here today for Girl Chat Sports, although I will let you know a few arms of the NFL that I've found while perusing the games these past few weeks. Mr. David Harris, he is a Jets linebacker, number 52. Ladies, go ahead and write that number down. Feel free to look for him on your TV screens this coming weekend. As well as Sean Weatherspoon, he's a Falcons linebacker. He's number 56. There's a thing, remember I mentioned last week that wide receivers usually aren't that great of arms. Some of them, like Julio Jones, has some great arms too.
Indeed.
But linebackers are almost guaranteed to have great arms, just like running backs. So please, ladies, note that. Running backs, linebackers, great arms. And then for our little throwback Thursday TBT arms of the NFL, Mr. Shannon Sharp. Not only is a great broadcaster and anchor on some of the sports affiliates, but he has great arms, and he's still in great shape to this day. This guy played for the Broncos for many, many years, as well as the Ravens, wide receiver. But this guy, I've seen some recent pictures of him without a shirt on, and wow.
Nice.
Wow. So that wraps us up for today, and we thank you for joining us. Again, if you wanted to reach out to us, please contact either myself, Melissa, or Stephanie at GirlChatSports. Email us. Let us know if you have any comments, any things going on, any questions, any topics you'd like us to address. Find me, Seattle4, the number 4_life on all social media. Steph?
And I'm S_wash.
All righty. I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm going to close it out with Vin Scully's, some of his famous last words. I have said enough for a lifetime, and for the last time, I wish you a very pleasant good afternoon.
Aw, I like that. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for checking out another great episode of Girl Chat Sports. And remember, we don't have balls, but we know how to cover them. Until next time, guys.